What if that Connecticut quarter in your pocket was secretly worth thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars? Money Bag today, we're revealing the top 2 rarest and most valuable Connecticut quarters ever sold. Stay tuned, because these little coins could change your life. Simple 25-cent coin that might be sitting in your pocket or in a drawer could be hiding a secret that makes it super valuable. Today, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about this coin and why you should check every single one you come across. This coin was made in 1999. It was part of the United States State Quarters program. That year, the U.S. Mint started making quarters to honor each of the 50 states. The design on the back of the Connecticut quarter shows a famous tree called the Charter Oak. A long time ago, this tree was used to hide an important document to protect it from British soldiers. So the design is not just beautiful. It's full of history. The letter D on the front of the coin means it was made at the Denver Mint. That's what makes it a 1999 D quarter. Now, here's the interesting part. Over 1 billion of these quarters were made in Denver. That sounds like a lot, and it is. So most of these coins are still only worth 25 cents. But not all of them. Some have minting mistakes, and those are the ones that can be worth serious money. These mistakes are called errors, and collectors love them. Some people collect only error coins, and they will pay a lot of money to get the rare ones. One kind of error is called a wrong planchet error. This means the quarter was made on a metal blank that was meant for another coin, like a penny or even a foreign coin. This kind of error is very rare. If you find one, it could be worth thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars. Some of these have sold for over $15,000 at auctions. Yes, that's $15,000 for one quarter. Another error to look for is called a missing clad layer. Quarters are made of layers. They have a copper core in the middle and a nickel layer on the outside. Sometimes, the nickel layer is missing on one side. If that happens, the coin will look like it's mostly copper on that side. These coins look strange and are easy to spot once you know what to look for. One side will look like a normal quarter, but the other will have a dull, brownish color. These can sell for anywhere from a few $100s to over $2,000, depending on how clean the coin is. There are also off-center strike errors. This happens when the coin is not placed correctly in the machine that stamps the design. The result is a coin where part of the picture is missing and part of the blank planchet is still showing. The more off-center the strike, the more it's usually worth, especially if the date is still visible. Some of these coins can be worth over $500 or more. Another rare type of error is called a double die. This happens when the design on the coin gets doubled during the stamping process. It can happen on the words or the numbers. For example, look at the word liberty or the phrase "In God we trust." If the letters look like they are shadowed or doubled, you may have a double die error. These errors can be worth hundreds to over $1,000 depending on how strong the doubling is and how good the coin looks. Even coins with no mistakes can still be worth money if they are in perfect shape. A coin that has never been used and looks brand new is called a mint state coin. Coin grading companies like PCGS or NGC can grade these coins on a scale from 1 to 70. A coin that gets a grade of MS67 or MS68 is very rare. That means the coin has very few marks and looks almost perfect. A regular 1999 D Connecticut quarter in that condition could sell for $200, $300, or even over $1,000. One super clean example sold for over $2,000 just because it was nearly perfect. Another fun thing to look for is a broad strike error. This happens when the machine that holds the coin in place during the stamping process doesn't work right. The coin ends up being wider than normal, with no ridges on the edge. It can look flat or stretched out. These coins also sell for hundreds of dollars because they're so unusual. If you want to check your coins, here are a few easy steps. First, get a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe. That will help you see the small details. Look at the front and back of the coin. Check the letters and numbers. Do any of them look doubled? Is the coin off-center? Does it have weird colors or look wider than normal? These are all signs of errors. You can also weigh the coin. A regular quarter should weigh about 5.67 grams. If the coin is much lighter or heavier, it might be struck on the wrong kind of metal. That could mean it's worth a lot. If you find a coin that you think is special, take it to a coin shop or send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. They will tell you if it's real and how much it might be worth. Once it's graded and certified, it's much easier to sell, and it usually sells for more money. People find these coins in all kinds of places. Some find them in their spare change. Others find them in old jars, piggy banks, or even rolls of quarters from the bank. You never know where the next rare coin might show up. That's what makes coin collecting so exciting. It's like a treasure hunt that never ends. So next time you get change at the store, don't just toss that quarter into your pocket without looking. Check the date. Look for the D mint mark. Give it a good look. That little coin might be hiding a big secret. It might be worth hundreds, thousands, or even tens of thousands of dollars. All because of a small mistake at the U.S. Mint. The 1999 P Connecticut quarter might be hiding in your pocket, and it could be worth a small fortune. That's right, a simple 25-cent coin could be worth hundreds, thousands, or even over $10,000 if it has the right error or variety. It sounds crazy, but it's true. People have actually sold these quarters for big money, and the best part? You might have one at home right now without even knowing it. Let's talk about what makes the 1999 P Connecticut quarter so special. First, this coin was part of the state quarters program. This was a big deal back in 1999. The United States Mint started making quarters with special designs for each state, and Connecticut was the fifth state to get its own quarter that year. The back of the coin shows a tree called the charter oak. It's not just any tree. It's a famous symbol of Connecticut's history because the state's royal charter was hidden in this tree to protect it from British soldiers way back in the 1600s. Pretty cool, right? Now, over 600 million of these Connecticut quarters were made at the Philadelphia Mint in 1999. That's a huge number, and most of these coins are still only worth 25 cents. But not all of them. Some coins were made with mistakes, and those are the ones that collectors really want. These mistakes are called mint errors, and they're what make a simple quarter go from pocket change to a big payday. One type of mistake is called an off-center strike. This happens when the coin is not lined up correctly when it gets stamped. So part of the design is missing, and it looks weird. The more off-center the coin is, the more it can be worth. If you find one of these and the date is still visible, it could be worth a few $100s or more. Another rare error is called a double die. This means that the coin was struck twice by the die, and it caused the letters or numbers to look like they're doubled. You can see the doubling most often in the words, "Liberty," or, "In God We Trust." These double die coins are really valuable, especially if they are in good shape. Some have sold for over $1,000. There's also something called a missing clad layer. Quarters are made with a copper core and a shiny nickel layer on the outside. Sometimes the top layer is missing, and you'll see a copper-colored side instead. If you find a Connecticut quarter that looks like it's missing the silver color on one side, you might have found a coin that's worth over $1,000 or more. Then there are broad-struck coins. These happen when the coin isn't held in place by the collar during the minting process. The result is a wider, flatter coin with no ridges on the edge. It might not look like a regular quarter, but collectors love these kinds of errors. These coins can sell for a few $100s depending on the condition. Another cool error is called a cud. This is when a piece of the die breaks off, and the coin ends up with a big raised blob of metal, usually on the edge. It looks strange, but collectors love it because it's rare. A cud on a 1999 Connecticut quarter can raise the value to $100 or more, depending on how big it is and where it's located. But one of the rarest and most valuable types of mistakes is when the quarter is struck on the wrong kind of coin blank. Sometimes, by accident, a quarter gets stamped on a blank meant for a nickel or even a foreign coin. These are extremely rare, and if you find one, it could be worth $5,000, $10,000, or even more. Yes, really. These coins have sold at big auctions for jaw-dropping prices. Even without errors, some Connecticut quarters from 1999 can be worth more than face value if they are in perfect condition. If you have one that looks brand new, never used, with no scratches or wear, and it's graded very high by a coin grading company like PCGS or NGC, it could be worth a couple $100s. A coin graded MS67 or MS68, which means mint state and nearly perfect, can go for $200, $300, or more. That's still pretty amazing for a coin that originally cost just 25 cents. So now you might be wondering, how do you check your quarters to see if you have a valuable one? It's not that hard. First, you need good lighting and maybe a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe. Look at the front and back of the coin carefully. Check for anything that looks strange, like doubled letters, weird colors, or missing parts of the design. Weighing the coin can also help. A normal quarter weighs 5.67 grams. If yours weighs a lot more or less, it might be struck on the wrong metal or planchet. If you find something that looks special, take your coin to a professional or send it to a grading company to get it certified. Once it's graded and confirmed as an error, you'll know exactly what it's worth and you might just have hit the jackpot. Coins like this aren't found every day, but people do find them in pocket change, in old jars, and even in rolls of quarters from the bank. You don't have to be a professional coin collector to find treasure like this. All you need is curiosity and a little bit of luck. So before you spend that next quarter, stop and take a closer look. That 1999 Connecticut quarter in your pocket could be worth far more than you think. Check your change, look through your old coin collections, and ask your friends and family if they have any old quarters lying around. You never know, your next big find might be sitting in a drawer, just waiting to be discovered. If you found this video helpful or exciting, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And drop a comment below if you found any rare coins or want help checking your quarters.